Hi everyone, my name is Dunya, and in this video I will guide you through the preparation and facilitation of the pro bono meeting, one of the crucial steps when running a pro bono project. As we will see together, there are several things to think about before the actual event takes place. One person can prepare and organize it, or there can be a team of a few people, but in that case, please be careful to divide the tasks accordingly. Here are some of the questions we will address in this video. Who can facilitate a mission, and what are the roles of the key players, meaning the facilitator, the volunteers, and the nonprofit representatives? How to prepare the pro bono meeting, how to facilitate it, and what kind of differences are there according to the duration of the pro bono project? What to do after the pro bono meeting has taken place, and what are some of the difficulties you may encounter? So, first question. Who can facilitate a mission? We call facilitator the person or person who will animate the pro bono meeting, meaning the actual day when the whole team comes together to respond and address the nonprofit's need. Responsible people are needed to facilitate exchanges between the volunteers, but also to frame these exchanges so that we do not stray too far from the subject. Therefore, the facilitation has to be really thought out and prepared before the pro bono meeting. The facilitator can be a mentor, a student, or a person who has organized the project. For instance, a staff member from the university or a staff member from the pro bono intermediary. It can also be a team of a few people, as I already mentioned. However, the format and the implication of people you want to embark, please make sure that the facilitator or facilitators have a minimum of expertise in order to best support the nonprofits. This is why a student alone may not be the most suitable person to manage a relevant facilitation or to be able to bounce back from different situations. Although the facilitator is or are the guarantor of the deliverable, the volunteers are the ones responsible for its quality. The facilitator can assign to that end different roles to the volunteers to make them more involved in the smooth execution of the pro bono meeting. For instance, there may be a timekeeper or someone in charge of taking notes when dividing the group of volunteers into different workshops. Finally, the nonprofit representatives should be able to answer properly the volunteers' questions and to present feedback related to the issue. For instance, when tackling or rethinking the communication strategy of a nonprofit, what are the tools they already set up? What worked and didn't work? What do they think the reasons, the lying reasons are? It is important for the nonprofit to be open-minded to the recommendation made by the volunteers, while also specifying and explaining to the group the constraints and realities it faces as a nonprofit. So, how to prepare the pro bono meeting? Logistics. First, logistics. It is necessary to agree on who takes care of finding a room, and if necessary, who takes care of the meals. Once the date is set, a room is booked, and a solution has been found for the meal. Do not forget to communicate those details with your volunteers and NPO representative. They need to be aware of the day, time, and location so that they can organize themselves accordingly. You can inform them of the meal in case they have some restrictions, for instance. The facilitator must then discuss and agree on the different exercise he or she would like to propose and a template to note down the recommendation and exchanges happening in the meeting. To set up your template, you have to take over the mission brief with the objectives you have set. What is the need? What is the actual need of the supported beneficiary nonprofit? What does it need? What did you agree to deliver for it? To achieve the objectives, ask yourself the following questions. What steps need to be taken? What do you need to think about? You will then have to think of small successive exercises, step-by-step exercises to build the deliverables and meet the objectives. You need to think at the same time about the facilitation for each of those exercises and vary the animation methods so that it remains dynamic and engaging for the volunteers and everyone involved. So for that, we advise you to alternate between times all together and times in small groups, if possible. Once your template and activities are ready, it is best to send them to the nonprofit to explain what will be done during the event and get their feedback. This will allow you to be sure that it suits the nonprofit and avoid possible disappointments. So, third question, how to facilitate the pro bono meeting and what kind of differences according to the duration of the pro bono project. Depending on whether you chose a short, mid, or long-term format, the preparation and facilitation will be different. We recommend always to start with an ice-breaking session so that attendees, participants get to know each other in a fun way. Then let the non-profit introduces themselves, and organize a question and answer session with the volunteers. However, depending on the chosen format, this should not take too much time. For a short-term project, for instance, you will only have a few hours. So, choose short exercise that goes straight to the point. Think of something very concrete that you can easily do to achieve the objective that were set. For a midterm project, you will have a little more time to brainstorm. The morning can be more of an ideation, but the afternoon must be more concrete so that the nonprofit leaves with things that are easy to set up. Finally, for a long-term project, you have more time for brainstorming and making room for ideas, but the closer you get to the end, the more concrete you have to be. So don't hesitate to give tasks to volunteers between sessions. If the facilitation is done as a duo between a mentor and a student or between a member of the organizing staff and a student, remember to distribute the roles well to complement one another. For instance, the student can try to lead the session to increase his or her skills. The mentor or most experienced person should be there to support him or her. Do not hesitate to intervene if the student is unable to explain an exercise or maintain order. The mentor is also there to share his or her experience. You should leave room for the student but intervene when necessary. So what to do after the pro bono meeting? The deliverable is rarely finalized at the end of the pro bono meeting. So it is a facilitator's job to organize the ideas and have them that have been generated throughout the meeting and to clean up the deliverable so that it is clear, understandable, and easy to read by someone who has not participated in the project, for instance. Then we advise you to send the deliverable maximum 1 week after the end of the pro bono project to the nonprofit and to the volunteers in a thank you email. This email is also an opportunity for you to send a satisfaction questionnaire to all participants. So what difficulties did we encounter in the BIS project? So the longer the chosen format, the more difficult it may be to keep volunteers engaged throughout the project. So it is important to set clear rules for volunteers so that they understand what is at stake and to take the project seriously. You need to inform them about the importance of this pro bono project for the nonprofit organization and what they are committing themselves to by participating in this project. So you need to inform them about the duration of the commitment and the objective that have to be achieved. They also must be considerate, so let's make clear rooms for them and communicate with them throughout the whole project. We have not established any particular common rules to disseminate to the volunteers in the BEAS project, but with hindsight, we can offer you a concrete tool. Some intermediaries set up charters of commitment that volunteers sign up at the beginning of the pro bono project. You will find it in the toolbox so that you can adapt this volunteer charter. So we have fun on your pro bono meeting. And coming next, Lou on impact assessment of the pro bono project. To ensure you have understood the basic of this chapter, you will find the form to fill in the comments below. Thank you very much.